his desires kindred spirit to the new world he and his companions had found on their emergence from the sea. He dressed and moved to Billy Shank's room, and could not help but smile at the contented snores of his friend. Billy had grown to be at home here. His friendship with the daughter of the lord of the elven people had blossomed into something more, something wonderful. Del thought of the upcoming coronation in the Southland, and of the bond that would strengthen between the races, human and elf, and he smiled again. He and his companions had found this new world in turmoil, and despite all had indeed done some good. "Bear witness for me," he whispered into Billy's ear, and he left the grand house. Bordering on desperation, he made his careful way up the invisible stair to Brisson Ballas, seeking Ardaz, the one man who might understand his troubles. But the wizard was nowhere to be found. So Del wandered under the crisp, star-bright skies of winter's last night. He could not deny the truth of his fears and his feelings, yet he could not escape who he was, the conditioning implanted upon his heart and soul by the years of growing up in a far different world. He thought back across those centuries as he drifted aimlessly about the elven valley, considering again the amazing course that had brought him to this special place, a winding path that had traded technology for magic, pragmatism for mysticism, humanism for spirituality. What a wonderful journey indeed. Del only wished that it had led him to a better place within himself. Chapter 1. The Passage of the Unicorn. The unicorn ran deep, ran smooth, gliding with the ease of an eagle on wing. But no hunter, this. She was a ship of peace, the pride of the National Undersea Exploration Team, NUSIT, pelagic counterpart of NASA, and the one, soon after the turn of the second millennium, to garner more of the government funding. The disaster at the space station, with 7 astronauts dead, a shuttle, and the multi-billion-dollar station lost, had curtailed NASA's budget tremendously and dampened the nation's taste for space exploration. But scientists had found it easier to sell the public on exploration of the seas, the last great unexplored expanse on the planet. Particularly after yet another disastrous El Niño year, with the warm Pacific water brewing a long series of disastrous storms sweeping across the continental United States. Public opinion rang out favorably for the fledgling NUSIT. And the unicorn was the result. Every member of NUSIT looked upon her with satisfaction and deep respect, for this submarine was the epitome of technological achievement. More than that, in accordance with the legend of her mythical namesake, the unicorn had become a symbol of hope for the future of mankind, amidst the constant threat of technological annihilation. For NUSIT was an organization openly and honestly dedicated to the peaceful application of science. Any nation, friend or foe, could, for a modest fee, sign on to share in the wealth of information the project meant to collect. Any nation. And that, more than anything else, was the true victory of the unicorn. More than 5 miles of water now separated this splendid example of the new generation of submarine from the sunlit surface. All was dark here and quiet, save the gentle hum of the ship's engines and the ping-pock of the hull insulator hydraulic system, beating back the tremendous ocean pressure. Powerful searchlights cut a swath of illumination through the lightless waters as this lone sphere of civilization prowled the Atlantic's depths. On the surface she had bobbed nervously about, each swell threatening to spin her over, but in this watery environ she swam swiftly and effortlessly. Here she was made to be at home, graceful and swift, and yet for all of her detailed and near-perfect designs, here she remained a stranger. Morning sparkled in bright reflections on the glassy surface, but this depth knew only night. So began the unicorn's 32nd day out of Woods Hole, her first without dawn. Down she had gone. Down from the curious Russian trawler, from the humming propeller of a private plane, suspected of being a spy plane out from Cuba. From the beach